Early morning and a long column of the Afghan National Army pushes out the gate of Camp Morales-Fraser. Camp Morales-Fraser in Kapisa Province, central Afghanistan, has French, American, and Afghan soldiers and U.S. Marines, all living here and patrolling the same area. The Afghan Army's trainers and mentors are U.S. Marines. They're here to professionalize the Afghan Army. Without a competent Afghan Army, America won't be able to go home. But how are they aiming to do that, and how long will it take? Is America's war in Afghanistan destined to drag on? Can anyone know for sure? Their trainers and mentors, U.S. Marines, keep a close watch. They walk toward a nearby valley. They'll stop at several villages. This area near the Afghanya Valley is notorious for its strong Taliban presence. The Afghan National Army, along with the French, are responsible for pacifying this area. To do that, they come out here every day.
Go ahead, one bravo.
Roger, India wants to answer why we're not getting birds today.
We won't be going all the way into the Afghanya Valley. It's too far from the base to walk. Elements of 2 companies of Afghan soldiers are along. The Marines try to keep them from getting out of order and roughly in line as they spread out along the route.
Can you tell them to slow down because we have to wait for the guys in the rear to catch up. Sanko, hey, Maduri, Age, Mostar.
In September 2008, there are only 80,000 Afghan soldiers facing a violent insurgency across a country almost the size of Texas. This small column represents the major combat power of the Afghan government in a district of 70,000 people. The Marines and Afghan soldiers pause as they near the first village named Kui. The terrain is rough enough that it's hard to keep the soldiers spread out in case of enemy contact, but not too far away from each other for support.
So, what are you guys doing right now?
Doing a security patrol. Currently doing a short security halt, waiting on a different platoon to catch up from weapons company. Yeah.
And you guys are going into this sort of village here? Why are you guys going into it, and how far away is the village, and what are you guys doing?
It's about another click away. We're going to Kui village to do a key leader engagement, talk to the villagers and the elders to see what kind of things we can get set up for future economic stability and for roads and stuff.
As they wait, the soldiers and Marines joke around.
It says even he's better than you. He's younger.
Yeah, I'm only 25. My body's wore out, man. It's hurting.
Finally, the soldiers enter Kui village. The Americans and Afghans are paying for a new village mosque to try to get the locals on the side of the government.
We can't provide them with any labor, but we may be able to provide them with some materials for the mosque.
This sedate scene is in fact a race against time as America tries to keep a lid on violence. In order to keep the Taliban out permanently, America must improve the Afghan security forces and at the same time help the local government work. The villagers need to know that they are safe, and the Afghan government will give them services and is worth supporting. But right now, the civil Afghan government is so weak here that the U.S. is stepping in its place and showing the villagers that someone will help them.
Right now, we're just a patrol through Kui. This is the village of Kui. Right now, they're building a mosque right here in this area, and the major was supposed to come out, so Sergeant Lerman's taking what they need down for supplies, and we'll hand that back to them, and hopefully we can come out here and help them build their mosque.
Why would you guys want to build a mosque out here?
Pretty much just because we want them to, it's just public relations type thing, show them that we're here to help them. Trying to help them get their economy up and make their villages a better place. And hopefully if they gain our trust, they'll keep the Taliban out of the area.
And so what's it like actually going around here anyway?
For the most part, it's pretty simple. We go out and they wave. But some days you don't get that reaction because if we have air on station, nothing usually happens because the Taliban knows it's not going to be a good day. So, but it's pretty simple. Some days you get hit, some days you don't.
That must be kind of a rough day when it does happen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Stuff just goes crazy. Some people, we got hit by an ideal beginning of the month, September. We lost some guys, so That was over in Afghania.
That must make it pretty tough.
Yeah, it was pretty hard, you know, but you just gotta keep pushing on.
As part of the Hearts and Minds campaign, the Marines medic treats the locals, who always have something wrong with them. Navy Corpsman Michael Bergeron talks to a kid who has a sore tooth.
Bergeron, what are you doing anyway?
Right now, when we come out here, I usually just treat locals, help them out as much as I can, the stuff I have. Right now, he's just got like a tooth infection, so just give him some antibiotics, get him to rinse it out with salt and water, type thing.
There's only so much you can do, huh?
Yeah, only so much we can do out here. So usually, we'll bring him up to the base. We'll treat him up there, give him more stuff, give him better treatment. With guys with serious injuries.
It takes a while to tend to the villagers. Several are treated with the Afghan soldiers translating as best they can.
Salt and water, okay, and to rinse out his mouth before and after meals. Okay, and I'm gonna give him
this one?
Yeah, him.
What is it?
He's got a tooth. So salt water before and after meals.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give him some pills that he can take one a day for a week.
باش ما بگویم زاویه نرسید. من فهمیدم دواش میتونم برای یک دفعه بخوره نمیتونم. پیش از
This is Ali. He's the A&A medic. So one. Okay.
Doug.
Yeah, paper.
Seems like you got quite a crowd here.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Treat one and then you get surrounded by 90 of them. So
On a field expedient with no bags, huh?
Water? I need. Mine.
The Marines finish up at the mosque and push on. As they move through the village, they hear a loud bang in the distance. The Marine mentor and the Afghan commander get together.
If you heard that too. What? The boom? Yeah, this way? Okay, I think it was this direction, 800 to 1,000 meters.
The leaders stand behind a village wall as they decide what to do. They get intelligence the Taliban is trying to set them up for an attack. No one knows what the boom was, but it probably wasn't good. The first course is to concentrate their soldiers.
Sir Lyman, hey, what's going on right now?
Warrior Zulu, this is Shadow India, over.
We had an explosion go off down towards the valley, trying to figure it out what it was. We're calling up to higher, back to base, see if they can tell us what it was. But if not, we're going to push out and go check it out with the Afghan soldiers.
I recommend pulling both companies together now because we're too spread out.
Get a truck down here, pick up the detainee.
We make a beeline around Roshan.
Tell them we're spread out all over the place and second company's the main effort. So I'd like to just bring weapons in on us, consolidate, and continue to move that way.
طولای دو کس می وظیفه مرکزی رو داره که طولای ما جوش
That's cool. All right.
ما دیگه سوار میشیم تو بیا باش اتاقی ما اتاقی کو بیا طرف
All
خانه
right, tell
رو
him to let us know when he's ready to move.
ما بگو بازار درست هم جایی که ما استفاده پیش مازاد رو پاس پاون رس خود
You Shane, what's your take? Can we touch him from here?
Zulu?
Zulu.
Not under these trees.
Roger.
We have to get out in that field.
What about the whips up?
Yeah, with the whips up, we should be able to.
خانواده نیروی اساس مکمل
Roger. I'm gonna move right, see if I can touch Zulu real quick. Ask him about that boom, right? Do we have any French in the AR right now?
Have you sort of had any word whether there's any Taliban around, or just difficult to say, or what's a boom like that might end up being?
We've had intel of two different positions. The Taliban are setting in for ambushes. There's supposed to be 50 Taliban in each position, but they're more into the valley, so I don't know. They were supposedly setting up IEDs, so maybe one went off.
So you guys aren't in the valley now, you're sort of at the mouth or something? Where were you in relation to that?
Yeah, we're at the mouth of the valley. The valley's actually around this little hill right here. And then we go into Afghanya Valley. We're supposed to push down to the bazaar, which is right at the mouth of the valley.
Sort of like standing by. What's that about consolidating companies? What's that all about?
Yeah, we have a platoon from 2nd Company, a weapons company from the ANA, and we're going to just consolidate them and put them together to make one mass force to push out and go check out the enemy situation.
And why would you put them together again?
It's a bigger combined force. That way we can all be together and support each other.
Thanks for that.
We're, right? Some of that shit ain't good. Alright, hey, sir, go fuck yourself. That's what he meant to say. You got that one. Good to go. Hey, we're going over to the bridge, okay? We're going to get up the MSR and walk back. That's awesome.
No good. No good. The Marines push onto a nearby road, and then the Afghan scouts radio back and say they haven't been able to find anything. The Afghan commander decides to head back to base. Today's patrol is important to help the Afghan soldiers get better.
When we walk up the MSR, does he want to use Overwatch, send soldiers up high to look at stuff, or?
He says there is nothing to worry about, and have the soldiers go up and do Overwatch.
Right up the middle?
Yeah, everybody on it.
Okay. Are we going to send any guys out in the fields?
No, just
Okay. Luckily for us, where we're at right now, we pretty much have Overwatch in the camp. They can see us.
He said that's enough. When they have Overwatch for us, we don't need any additional Overwatch.
And I take it we're just going to stop the vehicles that come at us in the front and rear? Just in the rear? Check.
Along the way, the Afghans stop cars coming along the road and search them. Amazingly enough, the Taliban uses the road just like the government and the Americans do, to move men and supplies around. It's difficult to tell who's who, and the Afghan soldiers look for telltale contraband, like weapons and explosives, in every vehicle they meet.
They're just checking all the vehicles that are coming through here. This is a main supply route for us and also the Taliban to get weapons and IEDs and stuff through into the valleys. Just checking their persons, see if they have any weapons, checking the cars, see if there's any explosives or weapons they've got stashed in there.
The Afghans and Americans walk back to base. This is one patrol, one day in the life of U.S. Marines trying to help stabilize Afghanistan from a violent insurgency. In 2008, the Afghan army is still small, and the government barely functions in a place like the Afghanya Valley. The U.S. still has a lot to do to get the Afghan security and government good enough to survive on its own. But maybe America will lose interest and go home, leaving the job undone. Not enough security, no functioning government in places like this valley, and the Taliban still strong and ready to walk back in. Each day is a slow step of progress, but is it too slow? In September 2008, no one knows. 2008 is already 7 years after 9/11, and the Afghan war will drag on for over 12 years more. Wars like this often last 10 or 20 years. This is one day out of 7,500 days of this war. Parts of the process can't be rushed, but mistakes that cost years, like undermanning the Afghan army, have massive consequences. Meanwhile, the human toll continues of Afghan and American lives.